Hey, this is Matt once again. What about to another video? There's another paid request, this time from Peter. Sorry as I get things situated for this. And he sent in a paid request for me to do a commentary on Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. Now I have the movie set up here. I will count down, press play if people want to follow along. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, whether it be a topic, reaction, review, re-review, randomness, out of the blueness, whatever it may be, again, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or on my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video. It'll be for pretty much anything. Reasonable, that is. So, I have a pause at the beginning, and 3, 2, 1, pressing play. As we have the Paramount logo, when Paramount dealt with Friday the 13th. I'm watching this, the Blu-ray from the Stream Factory Blu-ray set, which I did like a hour-long review of. Now, I did always like... This is from Friday the 13th Part 2, where they give a little bit of recap on the previous films. They also did this, I want to say in Part 7, The New Blood, where they give like a... It's actually Walt Gorney, the guy who played Crazy Ralph. It's not supposed to be his character, but he's given a narration and like a little clip show of what's happened before. So I would say like Part 7, The New Blood, a little bit more of the montage, but this is, I thought, well edited. Because you gotta understand, back in the day, this is 1984 this came out. It's not like we have, at that time, VHS, let alone streaming all this stuff. It's like, well, we don't need a recap. We could just see the film. We could just see them like the day before on your computer or rent it on VHS. No. The only times you would have been able to see these films were in the movie theater. So it's like, hey, you get to see a little bit of recap of these films. Maybe you caught, you get to see them again on the big screen. Of course, this is from the first film. Adrian Keene, Betsy Palmer. Recap the decap. The spear, which we're able to finally see that cut footage on the Blu-ray. And what's funny is that someone actually took that footage, put it back in with music, and out there on the bay with the Johnny Depp and all of them, the pirates, you do find an uncut version of Friday the 13th Part 2, edited back together. And this is Part 2, Amy Steele. There's Part 3, Jason. One of my favorite kills, the guy on his hands, like the clincher. One of the more hardcore kills, the guy in a wheelchair with a machete to his face going backwards. I would say that's definitely one of the more hardcore kills. And it's pretty much, like, no matter what you do with Jason, he just will not die. No explanation. It's just, he did axe to the face. Yeah, he's just not dead. He gets hung. He's not dead. Machete to the shoulder, not dead. I think it explodes, right? And Friday the 13th. Not Part 4, but just Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Now, like I said, this was 1984. They really did think it would be the final one. That's laughable because twice they've done that. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. But there were slasher films before Friday the 13th. Halloween, Black Christmas. But Friday the 13th really... If other films were the gasoline, Friday the 13th was the match. And you had My Bloody Valentine, you had Terror Train, you had just a gluttony of slasher films. Almost every week there would be another slasher film. There was Final Exam, there was Don't Go in the Woods, there was Silent Madness, which I think is around the same time. It goes on and on. And while Paramount was enjoying a lot of box office success, They were also in a lot of ridicule because Paramount was a big company, but you're releasing this garbage. I don't think it's garbage. A Serbian film is fucking garbage. Gutterballs. Don't watch that film. That's garbage. These E24 pretentious artsy fartsy fucking horror films, they're pretentious garbage. They're garbage and pretentious garbage. This is fun. And you know what? The characters, no, they're not deep as in you get tremendous amount of backstory, but there's personality, or there's camaraderie, or there's bits of there's something pretty much each Friday the 13th film I can find people I like. So people say, well, there's no likable characters Friday the 13th. I don't agree one bit. I liked Amy Steele. I liked, in this film, I liked Corey Feldman. I liked Kimberly Beck. I liked Crispin Glover. I liked Lawrence Moneson. And because of the ridicule they were getting in Paramount, they wanted this to end. So, okay, make a final one. We'll move on. But this made so much money, they're like, you know what, it's kind of hard to... It's kind of hard to let that go, so let's do another one. But let's do something different. And so that's where you have the copycat. Okay, let's go back to Jason. Then you did one of the best ones, in my opinion, Jason Lives. And think about that. You had 8 movies in 10 years. From 1980 to 1989, you had 80... You had one in 1980, second one in 81, third in 82, skip 83, this is with 84. I'm trying to think. I think 5 was 85, 6 was 86. I think they skipped 87, because part 7 was 88, and then part 8 was 89. So I believe 1983 and 1987 were the only years to not have a Friday the 13th film. But think about that. How many franchises, you look at a decade, almost every year. I mean, I guess for a while Saw films were that. But even the 7 Saw films, I still see a lot more differences in Friday the 13th. Where each one, whether the characters or whether, you know, the first one's like a murder mystery, and the 5th one's more of the sleazy one, 6 is more of a sense of humor one, and you know, they say this time they got him, but do they really? They act as if they absolutely know who Jason is, but if you think about it, well, I guess with part 2. Sometimes it's always, like, this takes place right after part 3. How long was it between part 2 and part 3? Because part 3, at the beginning you see Jason crawl away, and then they drive by and it seems like they see a little bit of commotion. Is it a day or two after part 2? Like part 2, 3, and 4, do they take place, I guess, in a matter of days? I would say this is an interesting shot where the ambulances go away, this shot stays, and then you get this sort of echoes of ghosts, you know, silence of this camp, all this busyness, all this noise. Not a camp, but this cabin, and just silent. It's like a little bit spooky. I mean, this is directed by Joseph Zito. Joseph Zito, he had directed, what was that movie? The Prowler. And he says that people saw it, they thought it was so good it should have been a Friday the 13th film. I disagree. I mean, he worked with Tom Savini on that. Tom Savini did the effects. That's one of the reasons why Tom Savini did this film. And plus Tom Savini thought, wow, I get to kill I helped create Jason in the first film, doing the effects on the little kid. I did to kill him. Of course, they didn't really kill him, but they tried. They gave it their try. But the Prowler, I don't like. I think the Prowler sucks. It's got you take. I'd say this with the Prowler. That is a film that is only and only watching for makeup effects. You take the gore, you don't have shit in that movie. It doesn't have an interesting story. It doesn't have an interesting mystery. It doesn't have any characters worth of crap. It has no personality. Well, even this has personality. The horny doctor. I'm not going to fake the orgasms and just this guy enjoying aerobics and like there's a little bit, like I said, personality to go a long way. The Prowler has none of that. I know that some people like it. I say this. Watch a version of that film with no gore. You could say that for other films. No. We enjoyed My Bloody Valentine, for example. Look how cut My Bloody Valentine was, and yet still enjoy the film. Now that you see an uncut version, that makes it even better. It's like, here's a meal. Now you get the best spices in the world. Makes that meal taste even more tasty. Like, I think there's a line this guy says when his arm falls down, and there's like a... See, even like this guy here. I'm sorry. That sort of whistle. Like I said, there's a little... Even this guy here on the right, there's a little bit of a... personality to him. But yeah, if people like the Prowler, teach their own. I'm not a fan of it at all. At all. I didn't. You would watch a couple minutes of gore on YouTube, and that's all you get out of it. I did the, like I said, the story doesn't do anything. But Joseph Zito, I think coming out, this is where you get the arm popping out of the... Kind of wait for that to happen. Aren't there better places to have sex than next to a dead body? I mean, I would think just wait until you're off work. Or go, I don't know, to the bathroom or something. There you go. Jesus Christmas, holy Jesus, goddamn, holy Jesus, jumping Christmas shit. See, like that was reaction was funny, and I did like, don't have sex next to dead bodies. Just saying, it's kind of a boner killer. But yeah, Joseph Zito would go on to direct mostly action films. I don't know if he directed another horror film after this, because he did Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. He did Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. He did Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren. And I don't know if he did anything after that. He might have. But it doesn't come to mind. But yeah, Missing in Action, Invasion USA, and Red Scorpion, all I enjoy. All three I enjoy. I don't know what my favorite... I mean, Invasion USA is probably my favorite of those. Although I do like Red Scorpion, Missing in Action. Yeah, this is where you get your first great kill. I mean, I will say this, the gore is definitely... Tom Savini came back, and the gore is pretty top-notch. It's definitely one of the better entries in terms of the death scenes gore. That's when he comes back. He does 180. Ooh. You get this 180. Ooh, nice. In this 180 twist. Very nicely done. Of course, you get the saw, the cut in, the look like it's in there. And this is just the viciousness. It's not just a stab, it's a rip downward. That's what makes it more harsh. See, it's not just a stab, it's this rip down. And technically you don't see anything, but it's just that sound effect, that rip sound as he's going down. It just makes it that much more intense. Now we have Kimberly Beck on the left, and I forget the actress who plays her mom on the right. And then the little kid that'll show up is Corey Feldman, a young Corey Feldman who, around the same time, was in Gremlins. And then Corey Feldman would be in... See, I forget what video game that is. I think Tom Savini did these makeup. Tom Savini did the mask in these. I could be wrong. Of course, Tommy Jarvis, I mean, it's a bit of a coincidence. Pretty big coincidence that, the guy who kills Jason is named Tom, or Tommy. I mean, I don't know if that was ever done on purpose. I can't remember if that was said, but it's like, hey, the kid who will kill is a makeup effects kid called Tom. I mean... If that's a coincidence, that's a pretty big coincidence. Okay, he does makeup effects and his name Tom, like Tom Savini. But yeah, Corey Feldman, I liked. Honestly, I thought he was a better kid actor than teen actor. Although, I thought he did a good job here. I thought he did a good job in the teeny parties and Gremlins. I liked him in The Goonies. I did like him in The Lost Boys. I think... Nowadays, he just a fucking wacko, weirdo, using his buddy's deaf Corey Haim for... I don't know. I don't trust Corey Feldman. And I would say between the two, I like Corey Haim more. I'm more of a Corey Haim fan. So. But here we have like two of my favorite characters. Lawrence Monason here on the left. He was in a film called The Last American Virgin. And then on the right, you have Crispin Glover here. Crispin Glover, of course, would be in Back to the Future, like a year later. He would be in the remake of Willard. He would be in Charlie's Angels 1 and 2 with Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu. Of course, one of my favorite exchanges in the franchise. Let me put in the computer. Hey. In this fake computer. That's what I mean, like, there's likable character in this, The computer says you're a dead fuck. It says you're a dead fuck. A dead fuck? A lousy lay, But there's no computer. Yeah, and there's no Betty either. Then I'm a dead fuck. Like I said, the computer don't lie. That's a genuinely funny exchange. Pamela Voorhees, Tombstone. I know that's something that was thought of later in the franchise. Like, what about the dad? Who is the dad? Like, who is the father of Jason Voorhees? But, that never came to fruition. I wonder who paid for that Tombstone, Pamela Voorhees. Like, okay, yeah, pay this woman, killed a bunch of innocent people. Very nice looking tombstone too. Like, it looks brand new. Now here we have this random hitchhiker. But hey, you know, keep the body count going. This hitchhiker looks like from the hippie 1960s for some reason. I mean, it's interesting, this character has no dialogue. Like, you're hired not even to talk, you're just literally hired to eat a banana and die. But yeah, I mean, you keep the body count going. What is it, like every 10 minutes or something, have a kill? There you go, boom. I mean, this was definitely one of the last gory Friday 13th until, honestly, Jason Goes to Hell. Did you look at part 5? 6 had a little bit more gore, but I think because the kills they try to do a bit different, but you do have like a heart punched out, as okay, have a face pushed into the wall, a guy gets his back broken, that type of stuff. But you just tell some of the gore's a little bit edited down. Part 7, tremendously edited down. Part 8, a little bit edited down. And kind of the last one, they were able to go full force, because the MPA had like a mission against, you know, the MPA is the Motion Picture Association of America, or as my friend would call it, American Puto Association of Assholes. Americans. But they just went after slasher films because I think they felt embarrassed that some stuff got away, and then people were so up in arms, and what are you doing, MPA? Okay, we'll be much more strict. And then, you know, especially after, from 85 to like, even the early 90s, with action films, Hard Target, Cliffhanger, Predator 2, they were very harsh in terms of editing. Like there was an NC-17 cut of Predator 2 and Cliffhanger, and then if you were able to see bits of Cliffhanger, Predator 2, that stuff never got out, sadly. But like Hard Target, this will be NC-17. No, it won't. It wouldn't. It would get an easy R. It just MPA. I think it was their dick measuring contest. Look how big we are. Look how important we are. Look how tough we are. Now, this girl on the left, I forget her name because I'm bad with names, but this girl on the left, she would be in American Ninja as the love interest with Michael Dudikoff. Now, I know there's been talk about like Joseph Zito was like a pain in the ass to work with, and he wasn't really the best director for actors. But it seems like a lot of people didn't have like the best things to say about Joseph Zito. I don't know. That's what it seems like. Maybe they'll, I don't know. Maybe they change their mind or something. But it seems like he. Seems like Joseph Zito was not the most diplomatic of directors on set. I mean, I will say the documentary that came out for Crystal Lake Memories is fantastic. And guess what? It didn't cost $70 when it came out. Unlike some documentaries like In Search of Darkness, In Search of Tomorrow, where we say we're going to have something and then we fucking lie about it, so we false advertise, but it don't matter. We'll still charge you $70 to get this 4-5 hour documentary. And if it's DVD, it's even more, like $80. Fucking ridiculous. Of course, Corey Feldman, like any kid, would be looking. But at least they don't have it in the same room. It just act and you're looking at something. See, nowadays they would, if it was the director of Cuties, they would have the kid jerk off because this is the reality of the situation. It's like, no, I don't need to see a little kid jerk off. I'm just saying, like, if this was the director of Cuties, a Netflix film, they'd probably film something like that. Be autistic, it's daring. I'm like, no, it's child. P to the E to the D to the O's. But Hollywood is sick as fuck. But the Friday the 13th franchise, I mean, I enjoy mostly all of them. I mean, really the only one I don't like is Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. And for many years, that was one of those movies I went, I'm not a fan of it, but I don't hate it because, I'm like, it didn't make me as mad as like Elm Street 5 or other stuff. But I think as the years come and gone, I guess my neighbor's rooster approved of that. Elm Street 5 I don't like, but at least I did give some merits to not killing off Lisa Wilcox's character. I know that's thin, but with how many fucking sequels that do that, I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad that it had a couple good, the motorcycle death scene. I like some of the ideas. It's just the execution was fairly terrible. It was the Doublemint twins. Do you have any gum? But like Friday the 13th, like my favorites, yes, my favorite is Jason Goes to Hell. And I don't think that film's nearly as bad as people make it out to be. I think the movie has more going for it as a story. Just let's face it, the first 6 movies, or 7 movies, I enjoy, but the story is we went to a camp and we're dying. So I like that Jason Goes to Hell is a little bit of a Terminator vibe, where a guy's protecting. Really, I mean, the Terminator is Calories protecting not just the woman, but the baby, or the baby that's yet to be born, yet to be conceived. While you have a guy protecting a woman and a baby, and Jason Goes to Hell. I like that it becomes like a chase movie. The whole stuff with Stephen Williams. I feel like it was trying to do more as a story. I appreciate that. It's definitely, people say we want nudity and gore. That film has full frontal nudity, and it has the goriest kill in any of the movies. We have no suits. So again, people say, well, Friday the 13th films are about gore. Jason Goes to Hell has the gore. And people go, well, there's no Jason. There's no Jason in the first film. There's no hockey mask. Is that Jason with the hockey mask? Well, then there's no Jason in the second film if it's just the hockey mask you're talking about. I mean, how often do you see Jason in Part 3? See, even in this film, right? When you're seeing Jason, you're seeing a pair of hands. A pair of hands grab a guy, do this. A pair of hands grab a head and do this. How much of this movie do you actually see Jason himself? It's probably a little bit more here than Part 3, but even in Part 3, until he gets the hockey mask on, how much do you actually see Jason? Not talk about hands, which if it's hands, it could be any hands. It's like some people get this idea that Jason is in it and 10 minutes in, walk around, slaughtering people like that scene in fucking Freddy vs. Jason in the cornfield. I did. My neighbor's roosters approve of that too. The complaints people make to Jason Goes to Hell just make no sense to me. There's no Jason. Well, there's no Jason in Part 5. The movie has more gore than Part 5, so you're saying you want gore. There you go. There's more Jason in that than Part 5, because Jason at the beginning and end is actual Jason. And Part 5, the only Jason you have is a little nightmare scene. If it's a guy in a hockey mask, if that's what it is, then you must not like Part 2, because you know a hockey mask. You must not like Part 1. Again, it's like, when people say stuff, I'm like, what about this? What about this? They're like, oh, I don't know. I think Jason Goes Out gets way too much hate. It tries to be more stylistic with push-ins and camera angles and some tracking shots and... Again, sorry about that. Here, I mean, we're getting establishments a bit more on the teen characters and also all 3 members of this family that's living next door to these kids. I mean, if I were to rank them, like, yeah, my favorite is Jason Goes to Hell. Then it would be Part 7, The New Blood, because I have an uncut version over here. Someone had made... They took, like, the VHS quality uncut scenes. Then they took an uncut version. They took a VHS copy of Friday 30 Part 7. Then they took the uncut scenes that were in VHS quality. They melded it together with the music, so it fits. It doesn't... It's not awkward. But the music is consistent. They even put, like, movie trailers at the beginning, like a VHS tape would. And to me, it's like watching a VHS uncut version of Part 7 The New Blood, which I enjoy. I think it's cool. So Jason Goes to Hell is my favorite. Part 7 The New Blood. Then Part 6 Jason Lives. Then after that, it's kind of like, what would be next? And it's tough because, yeah, a lot of them I do like. I mean, I would probably put... Man, that's tough. This might be up... I mean, this would be up there. I mean, of the first 4... I think sometimes I would say Part 2, but I would say, realistically, I would say probably this is the best of the first 4. Because I do think this has, you know, Jason in the hockey mask, which I prefer over the mom, or the tater sack. And you do have some, I even like this character, who I believe is supposed to be related to a character in Part 2. I do like the actor, and his death scene is probably the most sad. Because you don't see it, but it's just him screaming, "Run! He's killing me! Run!" I mean, it's definitely obviously the most one of the more tragic kills in the franchise. I think it's just like I don't mind Kimberly Beck, but like if you had Amy Steele in this one, I think it'd be even better. But I don't know, I mean, I'd have to think about it. I think I did a list before, and I don't remember. I know at the bottom of the list would be Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. And the second would probably be, honestly, people don't get mad, the first one. And I like the first Friday the 13th, but it's not a film I rewatch much because, you know... The mystery I always thought was stupid. The fact that you have Grandma... I'm sorry, Betsy Palmer, I don't buy her size, her demeanor, her strength. She's going to lift the entire body of a full-grown, Harry Crosby with arrows onto a fucking door. How the hell is she going to do that? She's Super Mom? Super Grandma? I mean... Under that sweater, she's like, she takes the sweater off, she's like muscled. You remember The Simpsons? when you have people like Ned Flanders or Willie, and like they take the sweat off, and all of a sudden they're dieseled. Is that what? Someone should do that, like some skit where Betsy Palmer, like a cartoon, and then she takes the sweater off, and then she's like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger underneath. That's how she's able to do this. Of course, showcasing his makeup techniques, Corey Feldman's character, which will lead to the ending, where he makes himself look like Jason. This is pretty fucking advanced for a little kid. If he's this old and making this, he should be in Hollywood right now. Seriously, if you make something like that and you're that old, yeah, go to school right now. Like to Hollywood right now. Yes, this is where you get the Crispin Glover dancing. Which, I don't know if this is true. I've heard that the real music they were listening was AC/DC's Back in Black. Back in Black. I don't know if that's true. Obviously, there's no way they could afford AC/DC, but I'm not really a fan of this song. I think this song sucks. But Crispin Glover's dancing is pretty crazy. I mean, I can't call it dancing. It's someone having a seizure. They're just not falling down. But yeah, Jason Takes Manhattan is my least favorite. Then it'd be the first one. Yeah, I like the first one, but to me, I didn't. The Betsy Palmer's, it's just, I always thought that was pretty dumb. Like, really? She did all this? What the fuck? I mean, okay, and it's not even a good murder mystery because murder mysteries, you gotta give the audience a chance to guess. You can't. How the hell can you give them a chance to guess if the killer only if the person that you could see, maybe even if it's a red herring or not, comes in like the last 10 minutes? Like, that was always one of the weird structures of that film where this brand new character comes in and we have like 10 minutes left in the movie and you go, who the hell is this? Wait a minute, who the hell is this? And we've never seen this person before, and this person just comes out of nowhere, and why did she get there, and where did she come from? And then, probably part 5, well, honestly, probably part 5. I would say, the more I think about it, I think at one point I put Freddy vs. Jason lower, but I put Freddy vs. Jason higher than part 5, because at least Robert Englund helps that film a lot, and the style helps that film a lot, and the fight helps that film a lot, to be honest. And it does have gore, unlike part 5. I like part 5, but I don't love it like a lot of people. Like, I know the guys at deadpit.com, part 5 is their favorite. No, it's not my favorite. It's not in my top 5. I like it, but I think there's a lot better ones. Yeah, don't be such a dead fuck. But yeah, like I said, the slasher genre in the 80s were, I don't know, some would call it maybe a fad. Some would call it something that popped off and was milked absolutely dry. I mean, from the 80s, I mentioned Friday the 13th, Mud Bloody Valentine, Terror Train, Prom Night. You would go on to Final Exam, Graduation Day, New Year's Evil. Of course, the Halloween 2, 1981, and then Halloween 4 didn't come out until 1988. Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 84, the same year as this, and its sequels. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 came out, 86 or so? Somewhere around there. I mean, Silent Madness, Silent Stream. It just kept going on and on and on. April Fool's Day in 1986. You had Cutting Class later on in the 80s. Like I said, just... And then, again, starting around 85 is when slasher films were dying down. In 80, like, I'm trying to think of, like, in 85, other than, like, sequels. You know, what other... Like I say, April Fool's Day I enjoy, you had Cutting Class, a few others, but they were becoming less prominent because they were becoming less successful at the box office. When, hey, we make these films for a couple $100,000, but then they get like a $5-10 million gross, that's easy money. You make this for cheap, you make it in a few weeks, you release it, wow, we got a little bit of profit. Boom. It seemed like an easy way to make money. And when that was not... You're losing money, and then it's like, okay, well, that's done. Move on to something else. And then by the 90s, the franchise were dying. I like Jason Goes to Hell. I know I'm in the minority. I don't understand why people hate it. There's no Jason. There's no Jason in part 1. There's no hockey mask in part 2. There's no Jason in part 5. What's the hockey mask? Well, again, there's none in part 2 then. It's just... Even this. How much have you actually seen Jason in 42 minutes of the movie? Like, it's 42 minutes. How much have you actually seen Jason? You saw... hands do this, a body rip something down, hands grab a head and a knife through a throat, but actual Jason, what have you seen of Jason? I think some people, they feel they've seen Jason a lot more than they actually have. Like hockey mask and all. Like, even in part 3, there's, the shooting the girl in the eye. There's the clincher down with the guy walking on his hands. And then, like, the ending. Even this, you see a hand grab and a knife go up through her back. You don't actually see Jason. So, again, for real, you don't see Jason. Technically, in these films, you don't see Jason. Like, actually watch and count how much you actually see Jason until the end of the finale. Like, the last, 20 minutes or so. That's when you see Jason. It's the finale of the film. Like, you see a knife go through the back. Nice effect. You see a hand. You saw Jason, 3 seconds? When he jumped up? So again, but yeah, you had Jason Goes to Hell. You had all these other films, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. You had films like Dr. Giggles. Really, none of them were that successful. Or maybe they made a little bit of money. To be fair, technically they just were not received with praise even from slasher fans. But some of them did make, like, to be fair, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare did, and Jason Goes to Hell because of the low budget, they did make some profit. It just wasn't gangbusters. Until then Stream in 1996, and then you had different types of slasher films. Urban Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Valentine, and more. And yeah, this one they definitely said, hey, this will be the final one, so let's go as much as we can with the kill. And Tom Savini, I mean, this is a guy who was a makeup effects man. He had been to Vietnam. He had seen real death. So he knew a bit about physiology of people. So then going ahead and, doing this stuff where, how would I put it? He worked with George Romero back in the day, films like Martin, and then, Dawn of the Dead. And I know he doesn't like the way the blood looks, like the color, but, Dawn of the Dead is still a classic. And Dawn of the Dead helped him get a film like Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th, they go, who the hell did that? They offered him Friday the 13th Part 2. He's like, I don't want to do the same thing. But then he did The Burning, which is almost the same thing. And then after The Burning, you had The Prowler. Maniac was around the same time, Friday the 13th, 1980. And then going from film to film to film, even this. I think Tom Savini actually did an Asian horror film where Chow Yun-fat's in it for a little bit. I forget what the hell the movie was called. It's like some weird, I haven't seen it, but some weird like Asian horror film overseas during the 80s. The idea, and they had Tom Savini do some effects for it. And Chow Yun-fat from The Killer and Hard Boiled is in it, but like for a little bit. He's not the star. And I forget what the hell it was called, but it's like, damn, I didn't know that. And then Tom Savini did makeup effects for this film. He actually, I mean, there wasn't a lot of makeup effects in Joseph Zito's other films, but he invited Tom Savini to do some stuff for Invasion USA, Red Scorpion. Like Red Scorpion, the guy who gets his arm blown off. And apparently, the head was supposed to get blown off too. But apparently Joseph Zito forgot about it. Because Tom Savini had made it. Like that big gun Dolph Lundgren had, he was supposed to blow someone's head off. But yeah, as Joseph Zito changed his mind. I wish that was in it. That would have been awesome. Dolph Lundgren with that big fucking gun. But yeah. Ooh, right in the nuts. There you go. But see, how much do you see Jason? You see a hand. All you see is a hand. I didn't. For all they say, you see Jason a lot. How much have you seen of Jason in almost 50 minutes of this movie? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. If you don't like the film, you don't like the film, but, some people, I think, make some stuff up. And it's like, that's not really what it is. For people who hate Jason Goes to Hell, I still dumbfounds me. I mean, it's an interesting story. There's more stuff going on. Usually it's kids messing around a camp. They get split up. They're killed one by one until, oh my god, Jason's here. And then a finale where they try to fight him or escape. Granted, there's little different ways, like Part 6, that they do it, but it's kind of the similar stature of a formula. So, I don't know. I think Jason Goes to Hell, like you say, it's just way too much fucking hate. And I don't think it's deserved, and it just doesn't make a damn lick of sense. It's weird that Jason would be like, fuck you, man, I'm gonna fuck up your map. I'm gonna fuck up your gun. Well, I get why the gun, but why he didn't just kill him. Because he would have seen the guy. It's not like the guy was a teleporter and disappeared. So it's like, was this like a warning? Listen, dude, I liked you for some reason. I'm going to give you a fair warning. Get the fuck out of here. I have no beef with you. I mean, I guess, would that be the case? Was Jason giving him a warning? That seems like a weird thing for Jason to do, but who knows? I mean, this is human Jason. Maybe he does that. Now he's watching this old-timey nudie film. I think they'd call it a stag film. Old school projector back in the day. And that's the thing with these films. People go, well, you watch them to watch people get killed. Well, they watch them because the characters can be fun, or, again, with charisma, with entertainment value. And then people are interested to see the next makeup effect. You know, it's like a magic. It's like a violent magic show. What's the next magic trick? What magic trick are they going to pull off next, and how do they do it? And oh wow. That's what, I mean, in a weird way, slasher films at this time was going to a magic show. Why do you go to a magic show? You want to see the tricks, and you don't know how they did it. Same with a slasher film. You see these kills, like, ugh. And then you think, well, how the hell did they do that, you know? But I mean, you know, Harry Manfredini did the music for a good chunk of these movies, and he did. That's definitely a big plus. Is the Harry Manfredini score? Here, I think it's from Silhouette, Shadow, which is an interesting shot. And you see the body pinned up to the wall or something. Yeah, in a little bit. Like, that was an interesting shot by Joseph Zito. There you go. Definitely sells the violence of it. Again, you don't see Jason. Again, for people to say, you see, where's Jason? Jason goes to hell. How come we don't see Jason? Technically, you probably see more Jason in that than in this movie. Or at least the same. I mean, again, just my own 2 cents. And people go, well, the plot's silly. A kid drowned, but somehow lived, and as a little kid, disappeared into the woods, and lived in the woods, and ate animal ass, and grape nuts, and squirrel nuts, and all sorts of stuff, and then lived to be a mongoloid in the woods and can't die for some reason. Then he gets brought back with a piece of lightning, like he's the Frankenstein monster, and then you gotta hang him in a lake to stop him, but he's not really dead, and then he teleports through Manhattan, and somehow toxic waste goes every night at midnight in New York, that's a big New York problem there. Fuck Jason. You have a bigger problem. You have toxic waste going every night at midnight. But then that turns into a little kid, and he has hair. So this, hey, you want to fix alopecia? Jada Pinkett, there you go, toxic waste. Friday the 13th Party told me so. So not only is he a little kid again, but he got his hair back. It made him grow hair that wasn't there before. If you want to grow hair, get some toxic waste. Apparently. It's... You're talking about ridiculous. The whole franchise is ridiculous, but it's fun. I mean, I'm sorry, even the first film is ridiculous. You're telling me the 60-year-old woman who looks like she could barely lift a toaster is this fucking mass serial killer lifting people up and holding grown people so strong. What again? She got that. What was that woman back in the day? That's got like the back in the 50s, where a woman's like this. She got something tied around her head like a bandana. Is that Mrs. Voorhees? I always do that, and someone's like, "You're not a fan of Friday the 13th." No, I'm a fan. I know what they are, but they're fun. They're entertaining. And yeah, here you don't see the mom's death. You didn't need to see the mom's death. I'm fine with that. You find her dead body afterward, and it's sold enough. And yeah, as like I said, the time went on, slasher films were dying out when you got to like the mid 80s. And there's still slasher films out there that you haven't seen and are still ready to be found. And but okay, if you wonder, like Stream Factory, this was part of the set. The features on this 4K stand, which looks good. Commentary by Joe Zito, screenwriter Barney Cohen, and editor Joe Goodman. Fan commentary by Adam Green and Joe Lynch. It's a fun commentary. Slash scenes with audio commentary by Joseph Zito. Jason's Unlucky Day, the 25 years after the Friday the 13th, the final chapter. That was a feature from, I think, when one of the DVD releases. The Lost Ending. That's pretty much. I'm trying to see if I'm confused. Is that where you see where they find the dead mom? Or do they find it here as well? See, now I'm confused. Like, is it from that ending I saw? That where they find the mom? I know the mom's in like a bathtub or something and she's dead, and there's supposed to be a dream scene where she like woke up and tried to attack her. Like the dead mom's going to attack, but the Kimberly Beck screams, and it's like they get a nightmare scene. Trailer, still gallery, and more. And this cover, if you see Friday the 13th on NES, play that. That's pretty much the cover they have. Damn, sorry. I don't know what it is with my throat today. I apologize. Yeah, I think the guy cuts through the tent. I'm like, you could have fucking heard her. Well, I guess he thinks it's the guy, Jason cut his fucking gun up. But yeah, I mean, with the Blu-ray itself, they don't have a lot of really features on that. I mean, I guess the movie play. I'll just show the box set. I got the box set over here. Might as well, for those who didn't see that. Because that's the thing. Never assume. It's not like I made so many videos. It's hard to keep up, even for me. So I trust me, I get it. but I'll just take all of them out. This is what the actual box set looks like. Very nice looking set. Great artwork. Some of these I have scattered elsewhere. But you pretty much have from the first one, which is nice that they used the posters. Most of them, what's new is the 4K scan, and then they bring back the features from other stuff. Part 2, podcast interview with Amy Steele, Friday's Legacy Horror Convention, 4K scan. I'm trying to think, this might have a commentary actually. I'm trying to remember, this might have a commentary on it. I can't remember. This brings back the commentary that was on the first DVD box set, but then when they had the DVD of this and other, they forgot about the commentary for some reason. Oh, this is definitely one of the best deaths in the movie. Is Crispin Glover's death. The corkscrew. Because he comes out of the left, like pops out like a jack in the box. Boom. And you get that corkscrew, and then you get this. Boom. Be clear to the head. Which seems like it was done in reverse. You do this, and then when you pull it out, and then you do this, react, and when we pull it out, then act in reverse. Because if you do like this, you could hurt someone. But you do like this, you do backwards, and it's safer for the actor. Then, that's part 4. Part 5. Commentary with Melanie Kinnaman, Deborah Voorhees, Tiffany Helm. Fan counter, Adam Green, Joel Lynch. That was added. And part 6, fan counter with Adam Green, Joel Lynch. There you go, throw this girl right out the window. Good stunt. Especially with how the glass of the car explode. But good stunt by that person. Very nicely done. Sister Sandra. I believe, again, that's a character from part 2. I think it was the girl that got killed with the spear in bed, I believe. He says 2 people in the hospital are missing. What the fuck did Jason do with the bodies? How are they missing? Like, he says the 2 bodies in the hospital are missing. How the hell did... Jason is a magician. He took 2 full bodies and... What? Where the hell did he hide them? If it's been this amount of time and the bodies are missing... That's a shitty hospital. Like, you have a guy with a hockey mask carrying 2 dead bodies around and no one notices. Okay. Yeah, I think I have part 7 over there. Part 8. Jason, Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy vs. Jason, Friday the 13th, just the Blu-rays that was already had. Then you have this bonus disc. Interview of Harry Manfredini, location featurette, which the location featurette sucks. They should have gotten, and I know the guy believes this, what's his name? He does Sean Clark, who did Horror's Hallowed Grounds. Sean Clark is the best when it comes to finding locations and doing shows about the locations, especially of horror films. And he did an interview with these 2 guys, good guys, CT and Uncle Bill at deadpit.com. actually a live stream, and he talked about. I got so many people asking me, "What the hell's the deal? Why didn't they let you do Friday the 13th?" And he said, "I wasn't asked. I think they you did what you paid for," and you could tell that he thought it sucked, that they sucked, and he's right. Slice and Dice, the slasher film Forever. That's a documentary that was made years ago. Stream Queens, horror heroines exposed. Pretty much like features we've seen back in the day. I mean, it's kind of hard with I remember like, if you want the films on Blu-ray, you've never had them before. Cool. But like Jason Goes to Hell, it doesn't have the uncut version. That was one of the bullshit things. Friday Part 2. Oh, here's another decent death scene. Because I like the idea behind that. You're stabbed through the film. And the idea like the knife is stuck to his neck, so it cuts the screen as it goes down. Again, for people to say there's no Jason and Jason Goes to Hell, how much of Jason have you seen? Even that, you saw a knife and he goes down. You saw a corkscrew and an arm do this. Now, you see a little bit of Jason in this scene where he crushes the guy's face. I'll give you that. I forgot how this girl dies. I forgot. Oh, she gets like an axe through the door, right? That's right. Like, phew. That's right, because like sudden, like, oh shit. Yeah, she gets like an axe through the door. Like, damn, that's a good throw. I think someone asked me what my favorite kill was. It probably would be in Part 3. Because the guy walked on his hands. It's the way it's done where he looks up and you get that shot of Jason. Boom! And just like turn the person to a fucking wishbone. That's like, right in the clincher. Right in the fucking clincher. Sorry about that, folks. Had a bit of a issue there. I'm paused at 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 23 seconds. I apologize for that. And 3, 2, 1, press and play. I had to do something real quick. So, I apologize for that. As this guy's in the shower, is about ready to get it. Hey, Paulie, who's it, Paulie? You don't get it, is what you don't get. It ain't Paulie. It's not Paulie Shore, it's not Paulie for Rocky. Ooh. Ew, there you go. I think it's that like eyeball you see, and then that sound effects. Sound effects can be essential in films like this. And even then, I can admit that you get to Part 4, it does feel like the same as Part 3 and Part 2. Like, other than like the little kid stuff, it's your group of kids, build up of them, then they get killed one by one, then you have the little battle at the end, and there you go. Again, one of the many reasons I like Jason Goes to Hell is it tried to be different and not just the same shit. Because we've had like, 7... Ooh, there you go. Nice axe to the chest. Nice effect. Especially how it like goes through the door. That little explosion through the door. Yeah, that's a good fucking throw. Corey Feldman, call the Goonies. Fuck the Goonies, you need the Monster Squad. Yeah, so no, I don't think they find the mother. I think it is that deleted scene is where that is. And there's weird fucked up fingernails. Screw going next door, go to the cops first. Like, you're worried about the kid, but then you decide to leave the kid alone. That's a very weird decision. We're worried about the kid. Is the kid safe? Well, actually, you know what? Let's leave the kid alone. And that dog reminds me of the question, did the dog, like the dog goes out the window, did the dog jump out the window or did Jason throw out the dog? I don't know what the actual explanation is. Did the dog jump out the window or did Jason throw the dog out the window? Because if you don't do that, then just make a fake dog and just, you throw the dog sideways. You know, like a fake dog. The fact that it looks like he jumps out the window, though, the way they did that. So, if he was meant to be thrown, they did a poor job shooting that. Because again, if you want to make it like Jason threw the dog, you just make a fake dog, and then, you know, sideways like this, you throw it, it goes out the window like this. Because I don't even know if the dog's alive or dead. Just, yeah, it just looks like, fuck this, I'm gone, I'm going to jump out the window. Why does he have a knife? Where's his machete? Well, I mean, he gave it to her, but, like, no, if you're going down there by yourself, keep the fucking machete, man. Keep that shit, not a fucking pocket knife. And what, you don't need... You don't need to go down the fucking basement. It's a shit idea. You don't know why? Because it's obviously a shit idea. I mean, to try and get the fuse box, but you know what? You say all this stuff, now the power's out, there's no one around, you're not hearing anything except my neighbor's rooster. You know something's up already. See, like right here. Did the dog... It looked like the dog jumped out the fucking window. And like, okay, was he supposed to be thrown out? But no, at the same time, Jason is supposed to be in the basement. Unless he... I mean, that seemed like from the upstairs window. So, did Jason sneak around this girl, go downstairs, and sneak down the basement without this fucking guy noticing? I don't fucking know. You tell me, did the dog jump out the window? If he was thrown, there was a bad way of showcasing he was being thrown. So it must be steam from the shower. Does it really take someone this long to... like... Okay, I looked at this blood. I'm looking at this blood some more. Look at this blood some more. Look at this blood some more. Look at this blood some more. Also, I don't understand, like, why are they going downstairs now? Gotta get the knife. You got a machete right there. You don't need to get the knife. She has a machete right there. See, that right there is probably the death that feels the most bad. He's like, he's killing me, no. He's like, run, Trish, run. Like, his last words are of a unselfish act, telling her to run. Telling her to run. Like, that's the most, like, one of the more tragic, like, you feel bad deaths. And there's no gore. No gore needed. You see a little bit of his body there, enough to realize he's dead. You hit that many times with a machete, you can't even cut the hand off? What the hell's wrong with you, lady? And for some reason, she can't jump over a dead body. I don't know, just, I understand it's a dead body. Jump over the dead body. It's not like she's, if you jump over, she explodes and you die. Okay, instead she does this. Jason fucking gets around with these fucking dead bodies. I think the most that you see of Jason is in this... Where are we at? 1727. We got, with the end credits, 14 minutes. There's Jason. I like that bit with the dead body, like... Just makes it a little bit more visceral. Just that tearing of it with the nail. Now think about it. Again, if you think about it, it doesn't make sense. Jason walked outside by himself. Did he then go back inside, go downstairs, get the body, drag the body up, and then throw him like that? Like, we just saw him leave with no body in his vicinity. He just went outside. So he went outside, wait a minute. Turn around, boom, 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 boom. Grab a body, boom, 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 boom. And then chee. It's like, wait a minute, I got a plan. Actually, it'd be kind of funny to see Jason look around. I got a thought. Dum 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 dum. Grab the body. Dum 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 dum. It's fun. If you try to think about it too much, it's a lot of stupid shit. But it's fun. It's fun. Again, I like the films. I don't take them that seriously. It's like McDonald's. I know McDonald's isn't good for me, but I still enjoy it. I still love it. I still eat it. I still will eat it. I know what it is. I'm not thinking McDonald's is the healthy choice to get me in shape. I enjoy it because I think it tastes good. At least to me. I like the chicken nuggets, chicken sandwiches, French fries. I guess I should mention that the guy who plays Jason is Ted White, which I know he did not like Corey Feldman. Thought Corey Feldman was a bratty kid. Oh, this is a good stunt with the TV. You're on TV! Yeah, that was a good stunt. But Ted White, he was a guy that grew up with, doing cowboy movies and things of that nature. I know Ted White did not get the most along with Joseph Zito. And I know he appeared in other stuff. Was he in Starman or might have been Starman? He's appeared in a few other films, without the hockey mask. Because you had Richard Brooker in Part 3. Part 6, you had C.J. Graham. Then Part 7, you had Kane Hodder, who came back for Part 9, Part 8. 8, 9, Jason X. Should have been Freddy vs. Jason, but they fucked Kane Hodder over for that. And sorry, my body was like... Ugh. My body was convulsing because it made me think of fucking Freddy vs. Jason. There's stuff I like, but I hate that Jason. That's one of the worst Jasons. And hey, the guy who played him, he did what he was told, to be fair. He did what he was told to do. It's the conception, the look, just everything about that Jason. Being afraid of water. He's afraid of drowning. It's still stupid. But I think this is when the time when people felt this was more of the scarier Jason. I mean, kind of a smart decision. Do you want to stay and fight Jason or just jump out the fucking window? Jump out the window. That's a nice pose. That's like a... She took a walk off the pier. She took the dive. She did Peter Pan right off this house. But yeah, Kane Hodder in Part 7 of New Blood is my favorite Jason. And of course, this is Corey Feldman. He's a makeup effects guy, so did the idea. Although, I say makeup effects, but really all he does is shave his head. He doesn't really do a whole lot of actual makeup. If you get what I mean. That's the thing, like, he's a makeup effects guy. He didn't really do a whole lot of makeup. He just shaved his head. Or he cut his hair. So again, there's not really a whole lot of makeup effects going on. Again, and think about how long it's taken him to cut his hair. Look how long it's taken him to cut his hair. You think he's going to get to the bald state in this short amount of time? That's a good makeup. Obviously, they take a fake hand. There you go, now he's shaving. No, again, just to build up all this thing that he's a makeup effects guy, and it's just, I could do that. I could shave my head as well. And I don't need to know shit about makeup effects. I mean, I'm trying to see if there's any other makeup effects he did onto himself. Not really. Maybe a little bit to his eye. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I'll tell you what, Jason gets fooled easily. I mean, it's either a sweater from his mom, or here's a bald kid. Thinking, is that me? Like, he's going to, what is he doing? Touch yourself? I guess give a new meaning to touch yourself. There you go. There's the hockey mask off. I like the look of Jason's face more in Part 7, The New Blood. But this is definitely an interesting, fucked up look. And Corey Feldman, I know he's like, I want to do another Friday the 13th, like Laurie Strode, and Corey Feldman, you're not that big of a star, dude. Let it go. Let it go. There you go. His head slides down. It looks decent. I don't think it looks as great as people make it out to be, because I get that it's his eyebrow, but this right here, when he goes down, like, the machete's over here. Over here, the eyebrow does this thing, like, it makes it feel as if it's deflating. And, like, the mechanism, it's not. It didn't fuck up, but it's supposed to be the eye, like, the eyebrow, But it looks like it goes in and, like, in, out, I don't know, just, you watch above the other eye, it to me, it hurts the effect more than helps. At least to me. To me, in a way, it kind of made it look more fake to me with the other eyebrow. It's like, because like it almost like it indents in, and I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why she's freaking out. Tommy's doing the right thing. I would do the same thing too. To me, it's like he did the smart thing. You want to make sure the motherfucker's dead. And of course, Tommy Jarvis would come back in Part 5 as a grown person, teenager, and he's in a, I don't know what you call that place in Part 5. I don't know if it, does it say on the back here? Halfway house. And then you have an ending with that, which I guess the ending doesn't matter till you get to Part 6 and that ending's ignored. And, the Warshack, or Horseshack, whatever it is. Horseshack? Ron Palillo says, hey, you just got out of the nut house recently. What, do you want to go back already? And then Tommy Jarvis accidentally brings Jason back from the grave. Right, he says he fucked up. Now this is pretty much saying that he'll be affected by this, perhaps. Yeah, you don't see the mom. You see in a nightmare scene where they find the mom's body. Which I guess that's the thing. Like, you watch the film and say, wow, the dog is never, dog's body's never found, the mom's body's never found, all that jazz. But, again, it is what it is. But yeah, that's Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Still a fun entry in the series. It's got pretty good cast. I like Kimberly Beck. I thought Corey Feldman did a good job. I mean, I liked him as a person, but he did a good job here. I like Crispin Glover, Lawrence Monason. The others were fine. It's a short film. I mean, an hour and 28 minutes. Hour and 28 minutes, not too long at all. Imagine that. A movie that went in the theaters was a mainstream horror film, and it's only an hour and 28 minutes. And doesn't have pretentious bullshit in it. Those were the days. But yeah, fun entry. I think for a lot of people it's considered one of the better ones. Because of that and Tom Savini's makeup effects. And there's a lot of people that Ted White is their favorite Jason. Definitely intimidating Jason in terms of, you know, the more human running Jasons. Alec Gillis and Kevin Yeager was on the team of effects. Alec Gillis, I think that's the same one who would team with Tom Woodruff Jr. and work on Aliens and Tremors. And Kevin Yeager, I think that's the same guy that work on like Child's Play, like the Chucky doll. Of course, Harry Manfredine's music, a staple for a good chunk of the Friday the 13th movies. Very well done. I like the Friday the 13th reboot, but I would say if it had the Harry Manfredini score, that would be even more interesting. Judy Aronson, that's the girl from American Ninja. Judy Aronson. Crispin Glover. Lawrence Monason as Ted from the Last American Virgin. And there you go. So, thanks once again, Peter. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.